Welcome to the Master Dad Podcast. I created this podcast to let each and every one of you know that you are not as bad as you think you are. Society wants you to believe that each and every one of you are racist, bigoted, and just plain evil. I want you to know that you, in fact, are not. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to improve yourself and get the most out of life, then start now by clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. With that being said, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get to it. I have had, on way too many occasions to count, a lot of people ask me, why is it when I see you, you always have a smile on your face? I will get to my answer that I always tell them in just a minute, but I want to give you a sneak peek into my life immediately after I got out of the military. Let me begin by saying military life is not easy. In between the constant deployments, to the strict lifestyle you have to maintain, to the mindset that you have to have just to be able to make it in the military, I was not a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy when I eventually did end my military career. As a matter of fact, for a long while after I got out of the military, and because of the things that I had to do, I was just not in a good place. I tried to find the answer to all of my issues in the bottom of a bottle. One morning, I woke up after a long night at a local club and just looked at myself in the mirror. I did not like what I was becoming, and decided at that point that I was going to make a change in my life. From that day moving forward, I try to keep my professional life and my personal life separate. And I believe that this is a big secret that a lot of people haven't figured out how to do yet. I want you to try to understand what I'm trying to tell you now. When you are at home with your family or your pets, or maybe it's just you by yourself, what can you do about work when you are at home? Sure, you can read a manual or study some text or something along those lines, but when you are at home, what can you really do about work? When it is 2 o'clock in the morning and you are thinking about a report that is due tomorrow, what can you really do about it at that point in time? It will still be there when you get to work tomorrow. The only thing that you're really doing is worrying about something that you cannot change at that point in time. Besides, if you waited until the last minute, I think it might be a little too late to worry. Don't you? And what about the other side? When you are at work, what can you do about your home life? Your significant other and yourself having a disagreement? You cannot affect that agreement in any way whatsoever when you are at work. You have a bill that's past due? Well, you need your job to be able to pay that bill. Worrying about it isn't going to make it go away. Push your home worries out of your head and focus on your work. Likewise, push your work worries out of your head when you are at home. Keep your home life and your work life as separated as much as possible. Of course, you are going to have to bleed over on occasion, but those times should be minimal. When I truly understood this mindset was when I started to feel a smile creep across my face. Is it hard sometimes to keep that smile there? Of course it is. But when you start smiling, some crazy things start to happen. As a matter of fact, here are 4 reasons to start smiling. Number 1, your attitude becomes better. The next time life starts throwing you curveballs, I want you to smile, even if it's a fake smile. At first, you will feel kind of dumb sitting there with a smile on your face when the world is crashing down, but you will notice that your mind and your attitude will start to improve. Eventually, that fake smile will turn into a genuine smile, and that is an awesome thing to have. And that brings me to the second point to start smiling. Number 2, people will start noticing your smile. As a matter of fact, my wife tells me that this was one of the first things that she noticed about me, my smile. She saw it as warm and inviting, and that was one of the things that drew her to me. I used to work at a call center that helped people with their internet services, and I can't tell you how many times I had a customer tell me, even though they couldn't see me, that I sounded like I was a good person to be around. It was because I had a smile on my face every time I answered the phone. As a matter of fact, that company knew the power of a smile, and every computer monitor had a little mirror in the corner with a single word underneath it: smile. Number 3, you will start attracting positive things into your life. You want things to start going your way? Smile more. Think about it this way. Who would you want to date? The grumpy Gus sitting in the corner, or the person sitting among a group of people with a smile on their face? People generally want to feel good, and they will search for people who look like they are enjoying themselves. I once worked for a guy who generally looked like he just ate a lemon. Honestly, I hardly ever saw this man with a smile on his face. He was not an easy person to work for, and that old grumpy me was beginning to come back out. I snapped myself back into line and put a smile back on my face. Well, one day, myself and 2 other managers were going through one of his 2-hour-long marathon meetings, and he was getting angrier and angrier for really no good reason. Every time he had something to say to nobody in particular, but I know it was directed at me because he would look directly at me when he was saying it, I would have a big smile on my face. The madder he got, the bigger my smile got. Now, even though the guy just wouldn't let it go, my buddy manager pulled me to the side after the meeting and told me thank you for being a bright light in a dark room. People do notice your smile. Number 4, like attracts like. If you really want your life to improve, you have to start with yourself first. And the first thing that you should learn how to do is smile. The why will come. Mother Teresa once said, "Peace begins with a smile." And I think this is very true. Not only for peace between nations, but within ourselves as well. It really comes down to this. If you want to change your life, and I mean really change it, start with a smile. You will be amazed with the results that follow. Thank you for listening to the Master Dad podcast. I would greatly appreciate it if you would like this video, and also please click the subscribe button and the notification bell to be alerted when I post a new video. And remember, don't take life too seriously. You'll never make it out alive.